Hey, what's up? This is Jaron Galino from Lynch Mob and Heaven's Edge, and you're watching Al on Be Cool or Be Podcast Al.
What's up? It's Al. Welcome back to another exciting episode of In the Bin. All right, it's another episode of In the Bin. Maybe not exciting, but we'll see. Anyway, this week I'm coming at you with. I have a friend that I used to work with, and it's a bunch of CDs that he donated to me. So we've remained in touch. We're friends. Shout out to my buddy Paul Mahovsky. Thank you very much, brother. I used to work with him. We were work buddies, but we remained friends after he left the company that I worked for. And he's in the process of moving. So he was like, Al, I know you love CDs and cassettes and albums and all that stuff. You want a case of CDs that I have? And I'm like, sure, bring it on, man. You know, so he gave me, let's see, a CD case full of CDs and a whole big Staples box of CDs here. It's heavy. And we're just going to run through them and see what we got in here. And I'm excited, man. But I really didn't, I just kind of gave it a cursory glance, but I didn't really go through them. So let me throw my glasses on. Let me pop a beer open too. Cheers. Happy Sunday. All right, so let's see what we have here. So first I'm opening up the CD case here. We'll go through them quick because there's a lot. So I don't want this episode to take up an hour. So first of all, yeah, we have the classic Alice in Chains Dirt. I got this one already, but I'll probably end up, if a friend needs it or something, or donate it, maybe make a giveaway. But I think a lot of people own this album, Dirt, so that's a good one. The first one, Facelift, here. Another great album. The Cult, Electric. I have this one as well, but again, I can always keep one in the car and keep one at home or whatever, so. The Cult, Sonic Temple, another great album. Lots of cool stuff so far. Of course, everybody, I'm sure most people have this. GNR, Appetite for Destruction. Jimi Hendrix, The Ultimate Experience. Jimi Hendrix, Radio 1. BBC Sessions, I think, yeah. I believe it is, so that's another good one. Let's see here. Oh, Jimi Hendrix jamming live at the Scene Club, New York City. Probably one of them bootlegs or some of a live show, but kind of cool to have. Anything Jimmy is fine with me, man. Band of Gypsies, Jimi Hendrix, obviously, another classic. Oh, Lynch Mob, self-titled, which is their second album. I believe this is with Robert Mason on vocals. First one was Only Logan, then Robert Mason took over on vocals on this one. Another great one. Ozzy Osbourne Tribute. This is the '95 remaster, so I didn't have this version. I have I have the original CD version, but this is cool to have. When I bought a lot of the '95 remasters when they came out, but I didn't get this one. I felt like I really didn't need it because I had the original CD. So another classic. I'm sure a lot of people have Metallica, Kill 'Em All. One of the greatest concept albums of all time, Pink Floyd, The Wall. Obviously, that's awesome. All right, let's go to the other. Dark Side of the Moon, of course. I mean, who doesn't have that one, really? If you're a music fan, I'm sure most people will have that one. Momentary Lapse of Reason, Pink Floyd. Let's see here. Division Bell, Pink Floyd. That's another good one. I saw them on that tour. That's the only time I ever saw Pink Floyd. I missed them on the Momentary Lapse of Reason tour, but I did catch them on the Pulse tour. So, Testament, The Ritual, great album. Now, Testament, I have quite a few of their CDs, but there's some CDs from like the '90s I don't have, so this kind of fills in the gaps that I'm missing. I didn't have this one, so another Testament one here. Let's see, Testament Low, another good one. Of course, the classic debut of Van Halen. Van Halen 1. Van Halen 2. Classics. My favorite Van Halen album of all time. Fair Warning. There you go. I have all of these, but it's cool. These are actually like the original CD releases, so I have the remasters. So this is kind of be cool to have the originals too. 1984. Let's see here. Foreign Lawful Carnal Knowledge. The Sammy Years. Let's see here. Texas Flood. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Can't go wrong with some Stevie Ray. Live Alive. Stevie Ray. In Step. Stevie Ray. Let's see here. Stevie Ray Vaughan, The Sky is Crying. This is posthumous after he passed away. I think that was his first posthumous one. Let's see here. This is weird. I never heard of this group. Struns and Farah. Struns and Farah. Primal Magic. Get a close up of that. There. The camera's a little far from me, so. Struns and Farah. A little glare on there, but I never heard it. So it looks like on the back there's a picture of a duo over there. No, I never heard of it, so I don't know what it is. From the looks of it, it might actually be like some sort of Spanish. Yeah, because there's Spanish names for the song title, so it's probably some Spanish guitar kind of thing. Oh, this is a great one. Winger Pole, one of their best albums in my opinion. That's a really good one. So that does it for this case here. Now we're gonna go into the big box. Give me a second here. I'll put those away later. All right, so I don't waste some time. I don't waste any time here. So we'll put this aside here. Open the top. We're gonna go through these quick. Ozzy, Down to Earth. Good latter day Ozzy album. Oh, Megadeth, So Far So Good So What. I just went to go see the Megadeth documentary yesterday. I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna review that, so look out for that. I'm gonna probably do it after I'm done recording this one. So yeah, so Far So Good So What. That's actually one of my favorite Megadeth albums. I love that one. Very underrated in my opinion. In My Darkest Hours, probably the quintessential Megadeth song for me. So Far Beyond Driven, Pantera, classic. Let's see here. This is kind of interesting. In Excess, The Gift, limited edition. Looks like it's an EP. It's probably given out maybe to the. It's got 3 songs on it. The Gift Extended Mix, and Heaven Sent. So it looks like it's a single. Yeah. So the song is called The Gift. Okay. So it looks like it's a single there. Rob Zombie, American Made Music to Strip By. There you go, Rob Zombie there. Oh, The Cult, Dreamtime. I believe this is their debut album. I didn't have this one. This is a good one to have. Early Cult, when they were more of a goth, kind of post-punk band. Oh, Ministry, The Land of Rape and Honey. My buddy Mike in high school introduced me to Ministry through this album. I never heard any of the industrial. This was in this is probably like 88 or 89 this came out. When did this come out here? 88. But I never really heard any industrial music, like I never heard of Ministry till he introduced it. So he had this on cassette, introduced me to them, because I was more into like the thrash and kind of the hair metal of the day. And he kind of introduced me to more of like kind of alternative kind of stuff. So speaking of industrial, 9 Inch Nails, A Downward Spiral, classic album. Oh, Beatles, Live at the BBC. It's a good one to have. I didn't have this one, so this is cool to have. Let's see what else here. Freddie King, The Cannonball. So it's nice blues stuff here. My friend Paul is a guitar player too, so he probably was into some of the bluesy stuff. So yeah, they're Freddie King. Here we go, Best of BB King. There, some more blues. Let's see here. Oh, Anthrax, Stomp 442. John Bush era. I didn't have this on CD, so it's good to have. I have this on cassette, not CD. Led Zeppelin remasters. So this looks like it's from that box set. I think that. Oh no, actually I think there was a 2 CD. Yeah, because I had the box set and that CDs didn't look like that. This is from that I think it was like a 2 CD kind of condensed version of the 4 CD box, which is like one of the early box sets I ever bought. So here's another Ministry. This is Just One Fix, so it's the single of Just One Fix from Psalm 69. That's cool. GNR, Use Your Illusion 2. Divine Intervention, Slayer. Underrated Slayer album, in my opinion. It's a great one. Oh, here we go. Death Cult. Now, this is the Cult before they were the Cult. So it's Death Cult. So yeah, this is kind of cool to have too. I didn't have this on CD. And I think it's kind of hard to find some of this early Cult stuff. So Gilby Clarke, Pawn Shop Guitars. I didn't have this one either. Gilby Clarke, that used to be in GNR after Izzy Stradlin. The Cult, Wildflower, the single, CD single. That's cool. Creedence Clearwater Revival Chronicle, 2020 Greatest Hits. This is a popular one. I have this on vinyl. I never had it on CD though, so it's kind of cool to have it on CD. Grunt Truck. Here's an underrated band, Grunt Truck. 90s kind of metal. I think kind of, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, they're on Roadrunner Records. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say they were AC/DC-ish, but maybe heavier. I don't know. I got to give them a listen. I haven't heard them in a long time. The album is called Push by Grunt Truck. That's cool. Very a little more obscure in the collection now. Here we go. Ozzy, the Ozman Cometh. Doesn't have the CD cover, so I do have this one. I have the 2 CD version. I came with like demos on the second disc. The Great Southern Trendkill. Again, another one that doesn't have a CD cover there. But Pantera, Great Southern Trendkill. This flip-flops with as my favorite Sabbath album. So Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, classic, obviously. That and Sabotage, I go back and forth. You know what? I go back and forth on Volume 4 as well. But Metallica Reload. I know a lot of people hate on that album. I like some of it. Van Halen, OU812. Sammy Years, In Excess, X. John Mellencamp, The Best That I Can Do, so it's Best of John Mellencamp. Here's Metallica Load, that was Reload before he was Load. Pantera, Cowboys from Hell, missing the CD artwork. Matchbox 20, what is this one here? Yourself or Someone Like You. I think this is like their most popular one. Matchbox 20. Not really, I'm not big into that, but my wife would probably appreciate that one. Firehouse, Bring 'Em Out Live. Oh, a live Firehouse album. I like some of the Firehouse stuff. They're melodic stuff. Let There Be Rock, AC/DC, one of my favorite bands. Come on. Oh, so here we go. So we had Death Cult here, right? We had Death Cult. Now we have Southern Death Cult. So my friend Paul, man, he was really into like the Cult and all the early stuff. This is kind of cool to have too. I don't have this either. This is probably like, this might be something that's kind of hard to find. So Southern Death Cult, I guess, was Ian Astbury before he was in the Cult. So kind of before it morphed in the Cult. And I don't think Billy Duffy's on this, so it doesn't show him in here. So yeah, that's cool. I'm never really too familiar with that early Cult stuff. So anyway, Ozzy Osbourne, Osmosis. That's cool. I mean, I have that one. The classic Machine Head, Deep Purple. Black Sabbath, Dehumanizer, underrated album. Love this Dio era album. Jar of Flies, Alice in Chains, one of the best EPs ever. Lords of Acid, Voodoo. Lords of Acid. That's kind of cool, a little more obscure. Alice in Chains, Sap, one of the other EPs, another great one. White Zombie, Astro Creep 2000. It's a good one there. Pantera, Vulgar. My favorite Pantera album right here. Vulgar. Santana's Greatest Hits. Cool. A little more blues with Albert King. There you go, some bluesy stuff there. Live Baby Live by In Excess, their live album that they came out, I think, towards the tail end of the 80s. In Excess Kick. That's probably their biggest selling album. This was when it became really, really huge. Let's see what else, man. We're like not even halfway through the box. Skinnyard's Innards, greatest hits of Leonard Skinner. Seasons in the Abyss, Slayer. Getting back heavy again. Paranoid, obviously. Sabbath. Let's see here. Oh, this is State of the World Address, Biohazard. I didn't have this one, actually. I like some Biohazard. Houses of the Holy, Led Zeppelin. What is this here? Bark, Thoroughbred Music Rock Sampler Volume 1. Some sort of compilation or something. Let me see what's on here. I don't know any of these bands. Peacemaker, Lucy Cannon, Stone Crow, Playground, Stone Ginger. This is probably an underground type thing, so I have to check that out. Another Lords of Acid. We had a Lords of Acid CD before. Here's another one. Dokken, Dysfunctional. This is an underrated album. I love this album. They reunited in the 90s. I think it was like 94. Put this out. I love this album. This is a great one. The classic Pyromania, Def Leppard. Their last real good album for me. For me, it's first three, and then you kind of hit or miss on them later. So, Blues for Salvador, Carlos Santana. I'm not the biggest Carlos Santana fan, but I mean, whatever, it's free, you know. Classics for guitar, Paganini, Bach, Vivaldi. Probably listen to this and you probably hear some Yngwie in there. Nine Inch Nails, Broken. That was the Broken EP. Classic. Oh, and then you have the other one, Fixed. Nine Inch Nails, Fixed. There you go. Richard Marx, Greatest Hits. He actually wrote Vixen's song. What's the Vixen song that he wrote? Edge of a Broken Heart. He wrote that song. Nine Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine. I'm sure a lot of people know that one. Sound of White Noise, classic. Anthrax. The first John Bush era album. Great album, though. 5150, Van Halen, Van Hagar. Boston's first album. I mean, that's one that's in everybody's collection. I don't know who the heck this is. Oshani. I don't know. You got me on that one. Women and Children First, Van Halen. Another classic. In Excess, Full Moon, Dirty Hearts. That one. My wife's a huge In Excess fan, so I'll pawn these off to her. Balance by Van Halen. I think the anniversary of this album was yesterday. I think it's like 31 years now since it came out in 95. The last one with Sammy. Ministry. Psalm 69. This is a great album. I played the hell out of this album back in the day when it was new. The classic Kiss Alive, double CD. Guitar Magic. So I guess this is like a classical kind of compilation. The Black Album, Metallica. Another one that, I mean, pretty much everybody has. This is, the Zeppelin Remasters, the other disc of that Zeppelin. It's like the 2 CD version of the remasters. Tonic, Lemon Parade, a little more poppy 90s stuff. Animalized, Kiss. One of the first Kiss albums I ever really owned. This one and Asylum. That's when I really started getting into Kiss. I knew them before that, but my brother had the cassettes, and I really started getting into them in that era. The Cult, Love. A lot of Cult, man. This is a great one. This is when they were still gothic, kind of post-punk. After this one's when they would shift, when Electric would come out. And I showed Electric before. No More Tears, Ozzy. I mean, there's a lot of CDs here, but I'm trying to go through them quick, so this video isn't super long. Shout Out the Devil, Crew. Double Platinum, Kiss. AC/DC, For Those About to Rock. These are all like a lot of classic CDs that a lot of people have. Super Sexy Singing Sounds, White Zombie. I like White Zombie more than Rob Zombie actually, but this is a cool one too. Ooh, Saigon Kick the Lizard. Love this album. It's a great one. I love Saigon Kick. So Matt Kramer, one of my favorite vocalists. Great. Billy Squier, Don't Say No, is a classic back in the day. Slave to the Grind, Skid Row. Their best album, in my opinion. Vertical Horizon, Everything You Want. A little more 90s pop rock, I think. Was this 90s? I think they came out in the 90s, or maybe early two. Yeah, it looks like 1999. So that tail end 90s into 2000s kind of pop rock stuff. I kind of wasn't really into it. So Return to the Apocalypse, Testament. That's cool to have. Powerage, my favorite AC/DC album. Awesome. The Union Underground. This is cool. I didn't have this, so be interested to kind of listen to this. Check them out. From the Cradle, Eric Clapton. It's more latter day Clapton. I'm more of a Cream Eric Clapton, but it's all right. Souls of Black, Testament. A lot of Testament here. A lot of Cult and Testament. This is Ceremony, the Cult. That one. Here's another Testament one. The New Order. Oh yeah, this is the first Testament I ever had. The New Order cassette. That's the first time I ever heard them. I know they had, I think, the Legacy before this one, but this is the first one I ever heard by Testament. They do a good cover of Nobody's Fault by Aerosmith on here. Mine Is a Terrible Thing to Taste. Ministry. A lot of Ministry too, man. A lot of Diver Down, Van Halen, classic. Saigon Kick, Water. Now this is the one where Matt Kramer would not be in them, and they would be paired down to a trio with Jason Bieler taking over on vocals. I never owned this one. I kind of was out on Saigon Kick after Matt left. To me, it was like the 2 albums and I was out. But hey, listen, to get it free, I'm all. For free, it's for me. White Zombie. This is my favorite White Zombie one. La Sexorcisto, great one. AC/DC, Eraser's Edge. Not my favorite AC/DC album, but it's not that bad. Highway to Hell, the classic. Highway to Hell. A lot of AC/DC stuff too. Here we go. Obviously, one that everybody has. You know, Back in Black. Biohazard, Mata Leon. Another Biohazard album. I don't have that either. The Cult, Beyond Good and Evil. This is one that I was missing. I didn't have this in, so that fills in the gap for me. That's a good one. Plus that early Cult stuff too. I never had any of that stuff. Blow Up Your Video. I think this is kind of an underrated AC/DC album. This is a good one. I like this one. The Alice in Chains self-titled, Tripod, Three-Legged Dog. The last one with Lane when he was live. Albert King, another blues. What is this one here? Guitar Man? Yeah, an Essential Collection. So it's a best of Albert King. Oh man, moving quite along. This box is big, man. Master of Puppets. Everybody knows that one. Biohazard, Urban Discipline. Another Biohazard CD. We Sold Our Souls to rock and roll. This is, besides Paranoid, this will be the next Sabbath one that I would ever hear. So Paranoid was the first album I ever heard. My older brother had the cassette. Then I got like this one, and it kind of introduced me to more Sabbath from their first album till Sabotage, right? Yeah. Yeah, so it's got Sabbath Blaze Sabbath on here, Snowblind, NIB. It's got a lot of stuff. It's really a lot of stuff from the first 2 albums, Paranoid and the first Sabbath album. Here we go, Testament, Practice What You Preach. This is why I was really into Testament a lot too. Great album. Another kind of, this is Mussorgsky and Borodin, but this is pictured at an exhibition. And that would be Emerson, Lake and Palmer would go on to redo this picture on exhibition. So this must be a classical version of it. So that's kind of cool to have. I never really heard that version. Allman Brothers Band, Decade of Hits. I love the Allmans. AC/DC, Who Made Who. No cover on that, but just a disc. What else? Kiss Revenge. Another Kiss one. Ozzy, No Rest for the Wicked. A lot of classics in here, man. other ones, man. High Voltage, AC/DC. And my buddy Paul is huge in AC/DC. It looks like Priest Live, the 80s live album. Another version of another Black album without the cover. Maybe he lost the cover and wanted it, so he bought another one. But this is without the cover. So this looks like it's Garage Inc. by Metallica, but no artwork either. It's just the 2 discs of the Garage Inc. album. Ozzy Blizzard. Randy Rhoads, my favorite, one of my guitar heroes. This is just a CDR. Ride the Lightning, my favorite Metallica studio album. Ride the Lightning. Holy crap, there's a lot of stuff in here. Lords of Acid, Lust. He's got a lot of Lords of Acid too, and I never really listened to them, so I'm in for a treat on that one. I think, judging by the CD here, there's no artwork here, but I think it's Tool Undertow. Oh yeah, Tool Undertow. No artwork there, just a CD. Let's see here. Another Tonic album, Sugar. And we're down to the wire here. Oh yeah. The Best of Cream. I love Cream. Love me some Cream. So that's cool. Although I have all their albums. So. And Lateralis by Tool. That's the last one in here. Yeah. Great album. I think this is probably my favorite Tool album. I know a lot of people go to Anima. Lateralis is probably my favorite. Yeah, I love this album. Saw this tour twice. Incredible. And I remember it wasn't too long after 9/11. I saw them at Madison Square Garden, and it was pretty emotional. Everybody started chanting USA or USA. It's funny how everybody was pretty united back then. Times have changed. So anyway, so that's it, man. I got a stack of CDs here. A lot of them I have already, but maybe I'll do some giveaways or probably hook up friends that maybe have gaps in their collection or whatever. But anyway, thanks for joining me in another episode of In the Bin. I'll be back next week to show you what I got. I got stuff at a thrift store too, but I'm gonna save that stuff for next week's episode. I'll show you off all my stuff that I got at the thrift store. Anyway, have a great Sunday. Enjoy football. Check out. One of the games is going on now, so be cool, and see you next week, man. I'm gonna come back with a video. I'm gonna review the Megadeth documentary that I just saw, and I'm also gonna do an episode, a video for the new Grace Under Pressure box set that got released by Rush. So I'm gonna talk about that a bit too. All right, cheers. Have a great Sunday.